Hello, hello, Virgo. This is Miss Joan and Miss Joan's Tarot on the Hill, and I want to talk to you about February. So I'm programming the cards for the period of time that is January 29th through February 25th. There will be 4 weeks, 4 columns, and we'll use this deck, of course, for the overview. And I have a new deck we're going to play with for going in deeper on each week. So let me program these cards for you. Now I'm going to set these aside for a momento while I go ahead and program these cards. This is the Animal Wise Tarot by Ted Andrews. It's really great. I think it has a really cool energy and I want to try it out and see how it goes. If you like it, go ahead and leave me a comment. If you don't like it, go ahead and leave me a comment and we'll get into it and figure out what's coming next, right? Awesome. Let me program these. So now I'm going to go ahead and set these aside, and we'll go ahead and lay these out and do the overview for February, all right? We'll have the usual 3 rows, where we are, what's blocking us, what our solution is. If this resonates with you, excellent. Go ahead and hit the like button, and go ahead and hit the bell so you'll get reminded of my videos every time I post, which is once a week, and we will get busy with what's going on, right? And just know I really appreciate it. Thank you. All the cards face me. It doesn't change the meaning of the card. It just means I don't read them upside down. So let's go ahead and get into this. The first week of February, January 29th through the 4th, we have the 7 of Wands, which is showing me that right now you need to stand up for what you're believing. Your beliefs do matter, but you don't have a lot of people around you who are right on board right away. So pay attention to what that is and what it feels like. The part where you have to, defend your thoughts, defend your ideas. Mentally prepare to feel weird feelings about that, okay? So maybe you're not getting the support from the people that you normally get your support from, which is kind of uncomfortable, all right? The Ace of Wands is here saying that the area where you're blocked is new ideas are not going to be coming to you at the moment. You're having like a little, I would say, writer's block or something like that, where you just sort of, the ideas you have are ones you've had before, and either you might be approaching them from a new angle or having to deal with them over again, but you're not getting anything brand new. All right? Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it is. The 5 of Pentacles is here as our solution, and it's talking about getting some advice financially. Because I feel like there's something in your head that's floating around causing some want, some need to feel more financially secure. So I want you to approach that from that angle. There's more than one person in the universe who appreciates how money works and all that stuff. And getting more advice could only help, right? Or at least confuse, right? Possibilities. We'll look at what that turns into when we go deep with this deck at the end of this video. But I just want you to think about what's possible, all right? And maybe open up to some new possibilities or ideas, all right? And let's look at the 5th through the 11th of February. The 8 of Wands is here saying things are going to move a little quicker. 8 of Wands is always about speeding things up and getting things going. it's a quickening, right? The pace will move quicker. If you have things in the works from last week, they're going to start going really quickly, all right? There's some downhill speed coming, all right? Be aware of it. Be prepared for it. You now know, so you can be ready, all right? The Four of Wands being where you're blocked, so the marriage of ideas here, we were trying to get things going on last week about getting a marriage of ideas going on where you wanted to convince somebody to get on board. It doesn't seem like they have. This Four of Wands tells me that you're still arguing about it. Somebody isn't still 100% okay with what you're thinking about. So it's, the question remains, is this person's opinion valid and important, truly? Or is it something that you were deciding might be important? Or does your decision affect them? So lots of questions, right? And there's nothing wrong with asking them. So indeed, keep those things in mind. And we have the Seven of Pentacles here, which is saying that the solution is to work it out so that you actually have a little extra money and are able to breathe a little bit, which is good. I really like that for you because it's important for you to be able to do that. You'll have that financial security backing you up at the end of this. And I think that maybe your partner in crime that you're trying to convince of what's going on may not understand just how stressed out you are about the finances. So keeping that in mind, maybe communication is key, maybe a little conversation. They will certainly notice the difference in you at the end of this. I like that. I like that you're going to end up with, like, your shoulders will go down. The thing in your forehead will go away, and you'll have a calmer personality as a result of having fixed your finances a little bit, which people don't realize how much they trip out on that stuff. Because, being uncomfortable, get your tummy tied up in knots and all these other things. So I think you're going to untie your knots and you're going to be okay. It's going to be all right? So the next week over, being the 12th through the 18th, we have the Six of Cups, which is you being able to share from your heart. This doesn't mean physical stuff, unless it's like physical stuff you want to get rid of anyway. But it is something where you're going to be able to dig into yourself and share an experience from your past that will help somebody else connect with you and feel less alone. I know that sounds kind of interesting and certainly more, it's a very heartfelt experience. You guys are having a lovely heart exchange, okay? So be aware of that. Be prepared and know that it feels like a safe experience. So you won't have to feel like you're endangering yourself in any way. All right? Excellent. Now we're looking here. We have the Six of Swords right here. And it's telling me that the area where you're blocked is using your power to help others. So you may not be able to fix, change, or alter what's going on with this other person, but you'll be able to relate to them. And in that way, help them in any way, right? So the more you can relate to them, that will be the larger help, as opposed to trying to get them whatever services they need or whatever else. Commiseration may be the key, all right? So keep that in mind. And yes, the next card down, your solution for this week is the Devil. The Devil is interesting because it's about self-sabotage. It's about you, clearly in both of these cases, you're trying to do for others. And I want you to be careful about how you do for others in this situation, because you can, in fact, get yourself into a pickle and end up with someone sleeping on your couch. So I don't want that for you. I want you to be happy, joyous, free, and comfortable in your life. You've earned and worked for everything that you've got. I'm not saying that you should leave people sleeping on the curb, but I'm saying that no, just be cautious what you get yourself into and find ways and means of helping these people before it becomes such a big deal that they are on your couch, okay? There are ways of doing this stuff, and it will be okay. The act of reaching out and rescuing people is on the surface a noble endeavor, but on the overall scene, is it truly helping them to take their power from them by not letting them empower themselves? You know, we need to empower other people to do for themselves. That's why I do what I do here, so that other people will have information and be able to empower themselves. Yay, right? So let's go ahead and look at February 19th through the 25th and see what's going on here. We have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is talking about how there's a karmic lesson. There's a karma. You're working with some karma right here. It feels like spillover from last week. As in the karma you've had with this person is going to be resolving itself or coming to a head at this point. Because how you interact in this situation last week plays deeply into what's happening this week. The Wheel of Fortune, the karma is playing itself out. Where you're blocked is the Eight of Cups, which refers to that ability to release things that we used to love, that used to take care of us, that used to be part of our world and that are fabulous and wonderful, and they were helpful and lovely and all those things. And now you're in a position where you need to let them go. I know, it seems weird, right? You have to just release a person that you cared about, but they become more trouble than they are help. And I know that isn't wonderful news. It sucks. It's a painful process. And this is your karmic lesson, is that there's a continuous, constant push between you and this person to interact in a way that is, you're trying to find a place where you can be healthy within the relationship, right? The Two of Swords shows as part of your solution is to, interesting, stepping through the fear. The Two of Swords is always about fear and not knowing what's on the other side, but having to do the thing anyway, right? It's a very fool kind of thing to do, to step over the edge without knowing where you're going to land. And it's very foolish, fool-like. I'm just going to say it, that if you make the leap, the net will appear. You don't have to be in pain or uncomfortable because somebody else made poor choices. Okay? So that's where I'm going to leave this right now. I'm going to put these over here. Save them for the next videos. And I'm going to go ahead and go deep right now on the first week of February, January 29th through the 4th. So let's just see where we are. I'm going to add 6 cards from this new deck, which is the Animal Wise Tarot from Ted Andrews. It's pretty great. I really enjoy the animals. They have a lot to say. Let's just see what we have here. We were talking about where you are, and what's the theme of the week is the Seven of Wands. You needing to fight for your ideas because nobody's really jumping on board with what you want to do. The Ace of Pentacles is here, the Bison, prosperity and abundance. So this guy here is talking about how if you can really stand your ground, everything is going to come out just fine. You have to work it out. The Ace of Pentacles, right? A gift of finance, the gift of joy, the gift of freedom is what that will be. But it really comes down to you standing your ground in this moment and allowing your wisdom to bring you there. Okay, that's a good thing. The Queen of Pentacles is here also, and this is the Lynx. Oh, pardon me. What was I thinking? There you go. That's the Bison. Excellent. Prosperity and abundance. And now, of course, we have the Queen of Pentacles, the Lynx. Hidden knowledge and creativity right here. Hidden knowledge and creativity. So yes, this is a beautiful card. The Lynx is cool. The way that this works is that they just have this perception that is seeming to be otherworldly. They are very cool. They have the ability to pay attention to the details. The slightest bend of a grass can get them another meal. And how they choose to approach it will come from a different direction. And I want you to take that lesson and apply it. So as you approach this situation of trying to convince your other people of what your new ideas are or what your old ideas are, that you pay attention to the details and figure out what angle will work best for them, right? So definitely look at the angles, look at things and see what, because some people need to hear the sob story, other people need to hear the numbers, right? So just figure out who you're talking to and approach them from the way that they appreciate the information. The Ace of Pentacles is here telling me that it's all going to work out, right? The Bison is here. Things are going to work out once you can make this convincing argument, all right? We have the Ace of Wands here. We talked about not really having a lot of new ideas coming, and that's okay. The Seven of Pentacles is here. Proper use of cycles. The Rabbit. The Rabbit is here. And the Rabbit is telling you that everything has its season, right? The ebbs and the flows of the ocean, the lunar cycles, all of these things take a certain amount of time. And you're going to get there. It just takes a certain amount of time, right? Every 2 weeks or so, the moon goes through another major phase. Every 7 days, it goes through a minor phase. The fact is, these are phases, and they take a certain amount of time. You can't get around it. You can't speed it up, and you can't change it. You just got to go with it and be ready to accept that phase for what it is and prepare during that phase for the big kapow at the end, right? So you're ready. So this is about preparing and being prepared and honoring the cycle. Don't overdo anything if it's not time yet, all right? So just prepare, prepare, prepare. Pounce, right? So it's good. You're ready. It's going to be ready. Perfect. But also in the blocked department, of course, you may not be paying any attention to that, but that little chat will help you understand that that's what you're supposed to be doing. And it will be very helpful to you if you can regroup and figure out your timing. So that maybe when you're dealing with your new ideas or not new ideas or talking to your people over here, you were looking at it from new angles. You may also want to check your timing. So there you go, right? The other thing we're talking about is Ten of Pentacles, home, birth, primal mother, the moose. 10 of Pentacles, the moose. So yeah, there's a lot of pentacles happening for you. And these pentacles here, this one here is talking about the moose. A fierce mama. A fierce mama, okay? So those hackles may be up, wanting to protect yourself and everything you're working on. And you need to try not to get into the no matter what's, because right here, if your hackles are up too much while you're trying to make a convincing argument, you might come across as kind of, ooh, bitchy. And we don't want to do that. That's not very convincing. That's more like, ooh, I don't want to be around you. So we want to be careful and cautious how we do that. And we want to make sure that we don't scare people off. Don't do that. So try to be chill and protective, but not overtly crazy. And watch out for your cycles, the rhythm and the timing of your decision to talk to somebody, and of course how they're perceiving things, right? I really see that this is going to work out. We had talked about this. We had the Five of Pentacles over here saying that yes, your solution is to talk to someone else about the money and figure out a new way of approaching it. New advice doesn't mean you have to take all the advice that you get, okay? It's just another perspective. And another perspective is helpful. It gives us something to play with. Something else to talk about. It doesn't have to be something you act on immediately. But there you go. More information. I think information is power, and that's why we're here. Knowing stuff in advance so we can work it out. All right? The additional information down here, we have the Hanged Man, which is the bat. New truths and perceptions, right? New truths and perceptions from this awesome bat. These guys are great. You know, they have that sonar situation going on, and they always hunt and they catch their prey just by clicking and popping and stuff like that. Very cool. The thing to know is that it doesn't always have to be an above board, overt, very obvious, on the surface kind of experience for you to understand what's going on. You may find it underneath, below, in the dark, out of sight, using your own intuition, your own parts of you, that you can find new truths just by kind of listening with your heart, right? Listen with the parts of you that you don't normally. Plug your ears and listen to who your people are. Listen to their hearts. Your heart can talk to their heart, and you just need to get into that conversation and allow that thing to flow so you can figure out how and why that's going on, right? Could be you're arguing about money, but what it comes down to is this other person's having issues with lack, fear of loss, and or how they grew up. And we want to be able to put everybody at ease and calm things down so that they're not approaching it from that point of view anymore, knowing that they're in a position where they're protected and safe. See, heart-to-heart conversations are a good thing. Do that when you can and where you can. The Four of Swords is here also, which we know the Four of Swords itself speaks to your foundation and power, right? But this here is the chickadee, seeking the inner truth, right? What did I just tell you about? Seeking the inner truth with the chickadee. We are seeking the inner truth. You're going to talk heart to heart with somebody. No words, just a heart-to-heart conversation. This can be done in a meditation. This can be done just by sitting quietly for 10 minutes and doing some deep breathing and asking that other person's heart to come out and talk to you. And you just sort of go, hey, what's going on? And you may or may not hear a whole lot of specific wording. I don't know how much experience you all have meditating, but all of this stuff can be, you'll sense something. You'll sense something. Either their profound fear, happiness, joy, terror. These are things you can perceive as just after having invited their heart to come and have a conversation. And then when you have this information, you have to honor it and also treat it gently, because it's not like you've had an out loud conversation. They don't know that you know, right? They may not know. So be cautious, be careful how you approach it. Use the information carefully and appreciate where they're coming from now. And see if you can address it without even having a conversation about that per se, but just say, oh, I looked at the way we're doing this and I've decided to go a slightly different route. We've regrouped and we're going to do it this way. And their shoulders will drop and their brains will go, whew, I feel good. That's all right. Cool. And they might get right on board, okay? Because now you've used your foundation and power in a very nice way, without telling them to screw off, and you're going to do it anyway. So that's nice. Okay, so Virgo, let's talk again about the 5th through the 11th, and I will see you next week.